How is everybody this morning?
Doing pretty good. Wide open though.
Happy December.
Yay.
Right. We'll be letting everybody in. Hope everybody is well this morning. Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody on this chilly morning?
Cold. You can see I'm
Cold.
bundled up in my sweatshirt.
I know. If I'm in here leading team meeting like this, don't worry about it. Extra coffee on mornings like this, for sure. All right. Well, you know what? We're going to go ahead and get started. It's 9:01. And I thank you guys for all being on time. I'll continue to let everyone in as they join. Let me find my clicker here. There we go. Happy holidays, right? It's December. There's such cute designs inside of Command Designs for you guys to use. There's some religious ones, some non-religious ones, some just kind of festive material. And I know if you guys are like me, you're always looking for some of that cute stuff that you don't have to create. So there you go. Simply remove the DBA logo and put the KW Montgomery logo, or just, put your own if you have a logo yourself. It's super cute. You can schedule out posts or just share them, email them, however you'd like to do. Let's start off by telling me something good. I know you guys have something great to share this first week in the last month of 2020. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Who has something good to share?
I will say that I did get 2 phone calls yesterday off the post about switching careers, about coming to KW. And hopefully I will be talking with you, Katie, because both of them work full time and they don't get off till like later. And I was like, hey, she can do a Zoom call during the day. We can set something up. So hopefully I can get something with them. And what I'll do is give them your information so I don't have to go back and forth.
Okay.
So one of them sounds really, really, really ready, but he has to go to school and everything.
Mhm.
But the other ones kind of want to fence, so I'm doing some persuading right now.
That's awesome. And then you can always give me their information. I'll call and reach out on your behalf.
Yes. Okay.
And I have a snazzy little link at the bottom of my email that allows people to see my calendar, and then they can look at theirs and kind of plan something at their convenience. So
Okay.
And that's for recruits. That's for you guys. That's, just to be used. All right. Thank you, Shacarol. That's awesome. Who else has something good to share?
Yesterday I had a closing. I wrote an offer and ended up getting it under contract, and I listed a house.
Woo!
So it was a busy day yesterday.
Very good.
That is a dollar productive day, ma'am.
Yes.
Awesome. 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 I love to hear that. All right, Miss Vicki.
I'm just excited about yesterday. I got on the call with Gary and Monica Reynolds with Confronting Realities, and how he was just talking about, we can do this, we can do that. But when he finished, he wrapped it up with saying, when we just call and check on people and just talk to them, just building relationships. So that was just really major for me, because it gave me a sense of, okay, you're in the right place. Because like I always say, I'll just call just to see how people are doing, and it really means a lot to people. So I'm really focusing on me just building relationships. I know what need to come out of it will come out of it.
Right. That care, concern, and common sense, right? Real estate will come up if it's supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to be ready when it does.
Yes.
But that's something you've talked to me a lot about, Vicki, when you come in here after lead gen and you're like, it feels so good, right? Mm-hmm. When somebody is like, thank you for calling.
Yes. And it's almost like that's the least I can do. And they're just so thankful. Yeah.
I love that. And that's part of our culture, coming from contribution. Mm-hmm. All right. We have time for one more. Tell me something good.
This is Cherie. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
My good news is the offer that I've been working with. They accepted officially this morning.
Woo!
So I'm excited. And the only thing I'm waiting for is our errors and emission errors and what is it? Mission policy. And I'll be able to upload that and start all of that paperwork. So I'm excited. And yesterday I was able to participate in Jimmy Ann's contract meeting. So that
Wow, good deal, good deal.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it,
on the right
Cherie.
track. So I'm
And-
excited.
Yeah,
That's my goal.
you were worried coming back. Is it going to be busy enough, right? And here you are, not 30 days in, and you are knocking it out of the park. I love that.
And I was able to get one lead from my giveaway, so I was excited. I had 19 entries, and one person has already contacted me and said that they're interested in buying a house. So that was
Awesome. So well worth
Thank you,
doing
guys.
that, right? That was well worth it, right?
Yes, yes.
absolutely.
I love it. That is amazing. And as far as the E&O, it's time for us to update. They have not sent us our updated deck sheet, but we're covered. So don't anybody send up red flags. We're covered. We're good. The insurance company just needs to send us our updated form. All right. So I love sharing with you guys, and I love these fun little gifts because, I always say all the time, I'm going to carry around confetti. So when something good happens, I can just throw it up. I don't know who's going to clean that up. But once we work that out, it's going to be great. All right. So today is Giving Tuesday. And I know last week we brought this up, and I just want to put it on your radar. We've already highlighted this morning how we are realtors who come from contribution. The First United Methodist Church in Montgomery has put together this Gift of Hope menu where there's 32 local organizations on there, and it shows how increments of $5 to $100 impacts these local organizations. This one, Montgomery Food for Kids, provides kids with healthy snacks and foods that are dependent upon the school system to feed them. And believe it or not, that is a huge disparity even in our local area, that kids are hungry until they're provided for food at school. And so this program provides over weekends, holidays. They're working double time right now with the virtual school, making sure in connection with our local schools, the counselors, the teachers that know that these kids that need this are impacted. And so as little as $6 can impact them. And then you can look through the organizations and see if there's something that you and your family are passionate about. I just want us to be focused on not only receiving, but giving, especially during the holiday season, especially during COVID. We need that connection. All right. Our December training calendar is up and running. The link has not changed. So this should lead you to the exact same spot. It now, instead of saying November, it says December. As you can see, we've got a pretty full calendar for December. Of course, our weekly gatherings together on Tuesdays via Zoom. We do have about 99% digital-based learning, a little bit of the in-house. That contract class, it is phenomenal, and it's not quite as relatable via Zoom. You need to be holding the documents, looking at the documents. So that's still in person. Business planning clinic is in person. It's a whole workbook that you work through. We do our best to have everybody spread out and safe. And then another thing I want to put on your calendar that may not already be there is our ornament exchange. For the past few years, we've done kind of a cookies and cocoa in conjunction with a fabulous Christmas party. This year, unfortunately, we're not going to have the fabulous Christmas party, and I'd still like to see you guys. So mask up, come in, visit with us. If you don't want to bring an ornament to exchange, don't worry about it. Just come visit with us. We'll be kind of doing open house style drop in from 1 to 4 the afternoon of the 10th. So you can come by and visit with us, have some hot cocoa, or participate in the ornament exchange. It's going to be fun. You bring a wrapped new ornament and you will drop yours off, draw a number, and collect one. So hopefully that was kind of a way, and thanks Sarah Little for the idea about that. We started chit-chatting about it, and ways to safely get together and visit this holiday season. Because I miss you guys. Like, I just miss seeing people. So check out that calendar. Another fabulous thing we're doing is a toy drive. You can bring new gifts with the price point specifically between $20 and $25 for girls and boys ages newborn to 18. The gifts will be given to a local community Christmas store. The parents of local children, there's over 450 signed up locally, will be shopping via voucher and invitation based on the social service that they're connected with for kids, for their kids' gifts. The reason that price point is important, one, is there's a lot of missed opportunity when there's just like a toy donation versus a parent getting to shop and have that integrity and choice for their child. And then the reason the price point is it needs to be new and in this, because if you have 4 or 5 kids and you got one that gets like a kind of sad stuffed animal that's been in your kid's closet for 3 years, and you've got one that gets a really cool board game or craft or something, you just want everybody to have the same gift type. So bring your donations to the office. We'll be collecting them until the 10th, and then we will take them over to the community Christmas store, which is happening on the 11th and 12th. And if you're interested in helping shop via the donations with the organization, people give monetary donations as well. And yet sometimes people don't have enough volunteers to go and shop. So if you want to have fun and take an afternoon, and I'd like to see 3 or 4 of us go and participate in this. It's a lot of fun. You're given, hey, we've got 8 boys ages 9 and 10, and you go and pick however many gifts. It's just a lot of fun. It's kind of like Supermarket Sweep, if y'all know about that show, except it's at the toy store. So if you're interested, just send me an email and I'll make sure you're on the sign up for that. And there is our invitation, December 10th, 1 to 4. For our culture moment, we got away from this a little bit. For those of you that are newer in the company, Mo Anderson and Kay Evans actually created our 52 rules of culture for Keller Williams. And we know culture is the way we agree to treat each other, right? And so someone created these cool little graphics, and I just want to be sure we'd gotten away from sharing them on business meeting, but I want to bring it back one at a time. I would like somebody to read this. This is kind of how we were doing in person. Someone read it and tell me what they think or what it means to them.
Culture in action, representing the market center and the company in a positive way. To me, I hear integrity.
I love it. Integrity. So doing the right thing. And that's part of our Y4C2Ts. So as realtors, also, we are ethically bound to treat everyone with fairness and opportunity. And so in doing so, you're going to represent your profession, you're going to represent your company in a positive light, because that integrity is extremely important. And for those of you that are daily Maxwell readers, yesterday's topic was integrity, wasn't it, Shagarol? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it's funny how some of these things keep coming up, but if we make that the forefront of how we're behaving and how we're acting professionally, that is going to shine bright. And we always want to be treating ourselves and representing ourselves in a positive way, but also the company and our profession. And that's just underrated, I would say. All right, so for our 2020 ALC members, those of you that are on the call this morning, and those of you that maybe are watching digitally via Facebook or something, I just want to take a moment and thank you guys, recognize you guys. For those of you that may be new to the company, let me tell you a little bit about the ALC. So the ALC is the Associate Leadership Council. It's responsible for ensuring that the Market Center continues to thrive and grow, giving our agent partners a voice in aspects of the company. The ALC is a unique body that truly defines a Keller Williams Market Center. It is a leadership team that encourages continued financial success, maintains a sense of community, increases productivity on all levels. It helps the Market Center realize its true growth. More importantly, the group is focused on members' personal productivity, profitability, growth of profit share, and culture. And so there's certain models of a brokerage. You have a traditional model, and then you have what we like to call the Keller Williams model, where you see this all the time, built by agents for agents. And the truth of that matter is, in a traditional model, many times it's one owner or broker that's in charge of everything, and it's the only voice, the only opinion, and the only way of thinking or doing things. Well, at Keller Williams and at KW Montgomery, we have the Associate Leadership Council, which participates on a board, and they get to be the voice of what's happening in the Market Center. They get to keep up with financially where we're at. We're looking at the transmittal reports. We're brainstorming on ways to grow the company and to really support each and every agent. And so in 2020, we had a pandemic. We had a crazy virus. We had murder hornets, for God's sakes. We had citywide shutdowns. And this group really prevailed and stood strong in their beliefs. And we want to thank them for everything that they have done for our Market Center. So if you guys will just take a minute and do a round of applause for our 2020 ALC. We appreciate you each. If anybody is on the call and would like to say something, please speak up. I can't see faces, so. All right. Oh, is that somebody?
Yes. Hey, everyone.
Hi.
Hey, this is Gloria. And I want to say that it has been a true honor to serve on the ALC. It has been a true honor.
And we have loved having you, Gloria. Really, really, really love it. And it is what I didn't mention is you must be in the top 20%, and you must already exhibit our culture and beliefs and the Y4C2Ts in how you run your business. So you're invited year over year based on your production and on your culture. And so it's a big honor to get to be selected and to even have the opportunity. For those of you new, hey, it is there, and you just need to work towards that. And then you also will get to serve on this exclusive board. So thank you, Gloria, for speaking up. All right, let's see. Let's take a look at our 2021 ALC members. This year we have another group, and it's going to be a group, again, ready to commit their time, focus, and leadership to make decisions for the good of the entire office. And so we have Laquan Hurd, Katie Douglas, Vicki Wadsworth, and Sarah Little that are going to be our 2021 Associate Leadership Committee members. So let's give them a round of applause. I love the silent applause. All right, so who is on the call and would like to speak up and tell us what you're excited about for this year, and share with everybody?
Well, first of all, I'm just excited about already where our Market Center is going and being a part of being the voice to continue in our growth.
I love that. I love that.
I would like to piggyback off of what Vicki just said, that I'm really looking forward to all the growth that we can do as far as a company, but as agents. And so I personally want to be able to see each and every agent grow no matter where they are in their business. And I would love to help that happen.
I love that. You got a friend over there next to you?
Yeah, Katie.
I'm really excited about the leadership that we have and the new building and just the opportunities that we have in the coming year. And so it's going to be a great 2021.
It definitely is. It definitely is. And, you know, just the opportunity that we are at, and you guys touched on this, we are just ready to completely skyrocket. We've done a lot of that foundational work, and I'm not going to lie, it's been tough. and it's been worth it. It's been so worth it. And that's where we've seen the impact of the Market Center. And I can't wait to see, and it so fills me with pride. And for those of you that are in the office kind of regularly, hearing somebody come in and see their success. And that's one thing that the ALC gets to participate in, right? You get to hear, oh my goodness, we did this, or we applied that thing, that the training that we wanted to see. It's really life-giving. Mr. Home Specialist, I saw you pop on. Would you like to say something?
Hey,
Hey,
yeah,
yes.
I'm ready. I am excited to be on the ALC this year, so let's make it happen.
That's right. Let's make it happen. That's right. All right. Well, we appreciate you guys, and we look forward to a full year. This month, we will be doing our ALC clinic, and then we will do our ALC retreat, and where we will do some year planning, looking at kind of what is the vision for the year for the Market Center. What training are we going to have on the books? What guest speakers? How can we apply and support our agents, and how can we engage through committees? So you guys be on the lookout for that. That's going to be something we're going to be sharing with you guys. You're going to see these faces come to you regularly and be leaders. And so just model after what they are doing, because they are applying the models and systems, and they are seeing a high level of success. So congratulations to all our ALC members, both past and coming present. We appreciate you guys. We're thankful for your service. It is not an easy task. It is a responsibility, and we thank you for stepping up for our Market Center. All right. How is the market? What have you guys been seeing in the market? Talk to me. Well, Sarah is killing it. She's doing all the things.
Again, we just need listings. We need new listings. We're closing and we're getting things under contract, but they're as fast as we're getting them, they're gone.
Yep. In what, looking at this, what ways are you taking advantage of the market that we're in? Can anybody tell me how they're taking advantage of this market?
I'm focusing on listings.
Okay. Coming in with the knowledge that we're, lacking listings,
Mhm.
bringing that to the presentation. Is that helping with urgency and conversion, Vicki?
Yeah, I've converted quite a few for sale by owners.
Right. That's awesome. Anybody else? How are you guys taking this advantage of this market?
It's a good opportunity to mail out letters. I know it's old school, but I've been mailing out low inventory letters, and it's prompted a few people to call me that I've never even talked to and get a listing or a few listing presentations, but just because they see how hot the market is themselves, and then I send them a letter telling them how hot the market is. So
Yeah.
it's a great opportunity to be sending out mail outs again.
Yeah.
I think I heard this on one of the Zoom meetings that we did, and I kind of like ran with it. Is one of the guests talked about talking with people who, in your conversations with people, saying, hey, if you know of someone who might be interested
Yeah.
in selling, they may not have their house currently on the market, and they may not want it on the market, but if the right opportunity arose, would they be willing to sell? And just kind of keeping a list of those people. And actually I did that. I called a builder to find out if he had any spec houses going, and he's like, no, but my house is for sale. So
Wow.
even though he doesn't want to list it, he did let me go over and take a video, and I ultimately showed the house. So that's a good thing to do, is to ask people, hey, if the right person came along and the opportunity presented itself, would you be willing to sell? And just kind of keep a mental note of a list of that, so that you can reach out to them.
Yeah, for sure. And it's really, the more and more we talk about, it's really saturating, right? Every possibility. Is it conversations? Is it dialing back and doing letters? Is it calling for sale by owners? There's so much opportunity. And for those of you agents that are going, oh man, I just don't know. There are so many things that you can be doing. And this is what I hope you're hearing when you're hearing all of these conversations of I'm doing this. I hope that you're thinking I could also do some form of that. because there's plenty to go around, right? What
Mhm.
Sarah, Katie, Vicky, and Carol and Cherie are doing, there is so much to go around, and we just want to really saturate our conversations, our relationships, and making sure that people see us as the expert. And the more we know about the market, the more we're going to be the expert.
And Katie, I just want to piggyback off something that Sarah said. She knows sending out letters is old school, but we can't forget about the people that want to get a letter out of the mailbox that's still old school, that means the world to them. So we have to have somebody that is still thinking about how we need to reach those people.
Yeah, everybody is not up with the, the social media, right? That's just
Right.
one scale of the onion. There's many aspects that we need to be looking at. I had a conversation with one of our agents yesterday, a business consultation, and he was saying he still sends out postcards. And what he realized was he was getting a better return on those. He would print the postcard, right? But hand write the address and sign it. And that way there was getting better reception because somebody does want that, right? Think about when you get your mail. Do you look through it and trash things? What do you hold on to? And that's why when Ignite, what do we teach? Handwritten notes,
Mhm.
right? Even if it's just some sort of holiday card or encouragement right now, that could really help build your business and love on the community in the meantime. So I'll be sharing this out for any of you guys that want to do it. This was the month of November for How's the Market. All right, so I hope you have your pencils ready because we're going to dive into Life by Design. One of my wonderful friends, Aubrey Bailey, shared this Excel format that he did on how to ensure that you are living your life by design. So let me pull up the Excel sheet, which I'm gonna pull the same thing up. Let's see. There we go. And here we go. Can you guys see this Google Sheet?
Mhm.
Okay. So I'm going to share this with you all, but I want to walk through it before I share it with you all. We know that we want to live a life by design, not by default. We know that we have a big why. We know that we have a passion and a reason that we're in this business, in this industry. And yet sometimes I'm guilty of it myself, maybe not being specific enough on what number do I need to get to. And so this is kind of a way to format it out. It's got some examples in here of that. If you've done the business planning clinic, there's an exercise that we do in this, although I like this because you can save this and adjust it personally as needed and just keep it on file and look at it regularly. So the first thing you want to do is, and I've kind of filled in some of the formulas over here. Where is it? Where the average sales price and the commission, it's around 150, 160 for our area. If you know your average sales price, you'll put that there, right? Because that's going to change your average commission. But then you're going to write down what are the description of your life by design. Is it to take a vacation in Europe? If so, how much will that cost? Is it you had a baby or you're going to have a baby? What are those costs going to be associated with it? Do you want to pay off your car? Do you have student loans to pay off? What is that life by design that you want to take care of? If you took care of everything that is an expense to you or something that you're hoping to do, you're going to put that there. You can put as many things there as you'd like. It's going to total it up. And so for here, it's got $40,400 based on these numbers placed in. And then it's going to give you a set 30% tax rate. You can increase that or decrease that based on your tax professional and what they've said your tax rate is. Just as a standard for this formula, it says 30%. And then that gives you a grand total of $52,520 for my life by design. Okay, this is just a formula. I filled in some numbers. You're going to be really specific with your own. Well, as you see, for that, all of those costs, it shows that I have 11 units needed based on my average sales price to take care of this whole list of items. Then you're going to come down and you're going to look at your yearly personal expenses. How much is your house payment a year? How much are your food, including restaurants and groceries, annually? What are your utility bills? What are any monthly payments you're paying on for student loans, credit cards, pet care, child care, insurance, entertainment, and any other miscellaneous? You're going to fill in the blanks here based on your own personal expenses. Again, it's going to give you a total. Again, it's a 30% tax rate or your specific tax rate, and it's going to give you a grand total of your personal expenses. As you can see here, to cover all of those, I need 8 units. Okay. Well, then it's going to get down here into your business cost. Okay. And it's going to go into your market center cap and royalty. For those of you guys that are individual agents, not on a team or a spouse team, your cap is $20,000 for the market center, $3,000 for royalty. Okay, you put those numbers in there. That gives you a cost of sale minimum of $23,000. That's just the cost of sale for the brokerage cost. Any other cost of sale you have associated with your deals, you need to put in here, and you simply can just add a line. Okay. And then you go into salaries, benefits, occupancy, education, coaching, communication, automobile, equipment, insurance, everything you have for additional business expenses. And it's going to give you the grand total and how many units you need to sell to take advantage of, to take care of that. At the bottom, it adds all of those different sections up, and it shows me that I need to do 26 units at 4.1 million in sales volume. Ooh. To have an income of 124,800 and paying our brokerage 23,000. I don't know about you, but I was pretty blown away at the simplicity of this form and how it really puts everything on one sheet. What do you guys think?
Mhm. So Katie, you have that in our Google Drive?
I'm going to share it with everybody today. I didn't want to
Okay.
share it before I walked through it. I wanted to walk
Okay.
through it first. I'm going to share it with you guys. We'll email it out as a file, and then we'll put it in the Facebook group as well. So you can personalize it for you based on your expenses, your life by design, that sort of thing. What do y'all think?
Love it.
Hey, Katie, that's one thing that when I did the business planning clinic that stuck out with me is that the cost of doing business should not exceed 30%. And I think as this last year, one thing that I've realized is that the time that is put into doing deals and the expenses that go along with that, whether it's paying for an appraisal or getting professional pictures or paying for warranties, whatever that is, it made me hyper focused on that whole staying within that 30% margin.
Yeah. You stay within it. There's two ways to look at it, right? It's red light, green light. So you either need to stay within it or you need to be aware there is a cost of sale. Because I think realtors tend to go either way. They're just like proceeding without caution. So are you looking at your expenses to make sure you're maintaining, or are you looking at them understanding there is an expense, right? That treat it like a business. I love that. I just like how it broke it down based on the unit count. So many people say, I have no idea. They'll just say, oh, I want to make $100,000. Well, will $100,000 cover your expenses, right? Or are you just throwing a number out there? Looking at where we're at to see where you need to be. And maybe this year it's 26 and next year you realize I'm gonna crush 26. What can I do with this extra? Is it going to be a hire? Is it going to be an extra fabulous family vacation? Do we need to buy a new family car? What is that next Life by Design move for you? And that's what we want to make sure that you guys see. My coach asked me yesterday, she said, what is it that energizes you and fulfills you for your job, for your role? And it's lifting other people's lids, because that's what happened to me. I came in here thinking I want to sell a couple houses, and there has been a path of opportunity a mile wide, right? What is your next thing? What's next for you? Is it selling a couple houses? That's a great place to start. Is it building that team and hiring an admin? Is it planning a family vacation because you've been working yourself in the ground, right? That whole person is important, and making sure that you're leaning into the opportunity that's provided to you. So we'll share this with you guys. I hope that you use it. It's important to me to have the conversations about what just even happened, about wealth building and that life by design, because that's what's been poured into me, and I want to pour that back into you guys. So this is a bold law. You've all seen it. The purpose of business is to fund the perfect life. I thought that was excellent for today's exercise. Now, I've got one more thing, and I don't know why I pulled this back up for us. It's a video of Jay Papasan and Jason Abrams talking through the path of money. Did anybody get on the Pivot Shift Ahead group and do the MREI book club? Did anybody catch any of those segments? They did it twice a week, I think last month. Well, it's in there recorded, and Gary Keller wrote, of course, the MREA, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, but he also wrote the Millionaire Real Estate Investor. Jay Papasan helped him write both books. And this is a segment of them talking through, basically in a nutshell, the path of money. I thought that it really applied to us having the wealth building conversation, having the life by design conversation. It's about a 12-minute little video. I promise you it will be worth it. And then we'll kind of talk through some things, okay? So here we go. Can y'all see the screen?
Human capital and capital assets. Fancy words for your work. To print it out so that you could. But this is written in such a way where you can pull out a yellow legal pad and a green marker, and you can draw this for somebody. And while you're doing it, you will be giving them the keys to unlock the mysteries that they've never really understood, which is simply how money works. Because to me, Jay, this looks like a giant Planko board. And it falls down, and I was so confused about money. I thought there was so many things you can do with it. Explain how this works and clarify it.
Well, first off, I love that you just evoke the image of the little marble going down on a Planko board. Okay, that's great, because that is how this works. No, that's how this works. So let's just start at the top. You have two kinds of capital, human capital and capital assets. Fancy words for you're working for money or your money's working for you. And we're going to get back to that. But when we talk about financial wealth is how we move from I'm working to my money's working for me. Okay. When enough of my money is working for me that I don't have to work anymore, I'm financially free. And that feels really good. And I'll tell you, when we think about big whys, when you ask someone, why do you want to be a millionaire? Why do you want to be financially wealthy? Almost every answer comes down to two things. It's not stuff. It's not even experiences. They want either financial security because they grew up without a lot, and what they want to avoid is being afraid of not having it, or they want freedom to choose to do what they want to do, when they want to do it, with whom they want, for as long as they want.
Yes.
Right? It's that idea of freedom to choose. And those are the fundamental drivers for why someone is willing to move from here to here. This gives you cash flow, not EBITDA, no fancy, it's cash flow.
It's just cash.
Right, we work in real estate. That's what we get from a real estate property, simple language. And you have four choices.
This is the part that always blows me away. Because when you explained this and then you defied me to try to think of a fifth, I couldn't. This is it.
Gary did a great job. There's four buckets. Most people spend their most time on number one, spend it.
Yeah.
And because of that, they never get to the other ones. But you can spend it and you can hold it. And we say hold it. This is like savings.
So in the freezer, under the mattress, in a bank, same thing.
Right. And if you're holding money, the real truth there is you have cash and it's available for emergencies, but it's probably not growing. Right. Your average bank account savings is going to pay you like less than a percentage in interest. And we know that that's not even to fight inflation.
So it's actually shrinking every day.
Every day. But there's a reason you have it. Because if the air conditioner breaks, you don't want to put that on a credit card, right? If you have to go to the doctor, you've got some emergency funds, just like we do for our business folks. You can then donate it. Hopefully you tithe, maybe you do more, you're going to give to charity.
And you guys are so great at that. Thank you for everything you're doing for KW Cares. Keller Williams agents do that in a big way.
And KW Kids can. That is our strength zone, or part of our culture. And the last one, and this is the one that nobody wants to talk about because they don't understand it, is you can invest money.
Well, the simplicity of getting to this point is everyone understands spend it. We all know what save it means, and we're all good at donating it. That's it. And so this is the only mystery on the board.
Right. And people get confused about what it means to invest. They'll say, hey, Jason, I went and there was a deal and I invested in a great couch. Okay. What they meant is they got value, but they spent their money. Okay. Right. Because the couch is not an asset. It's not going to go up in value over time and it's not going to give them cash flow. It might give them cash flow if you look under the cushions and you find a few quarters, but that's it. Okay. Okay. You're just spending money. Yeah. But when you invest money, you expect a return. Sure. A financial return. And this is where I love it.
Well, so that's the simple definition for me. So if I'm confused on what investing is, it's that I'm expecting a financial return.
Yes.
I get to decide what that return is. And I get to decide what risk I'm willing to take, which is usually in proportion to what return I'm going to gain.
Absolutely. And that's where when we get to profit share and the risk quotient and the return quotient, that's where that conversation blows up. But someone has to understand it in context.
Now, I promise you, we're not just trying to trick you into learning about profit share. We would never do that to you because it's not the most powerful investment vehicle ever. I promise.
All right. So there's basically two things you do with money when you invest it. You're either lending money to someone who thinks they can make more money with it. And so they're going to pay you for the opportunity to hold your money, or you can own something with it.
Okay.
And then there's two styles for lending and owning. You can do it passively or you can do it actively.
This is it, man.
So it's four choices. It's like a matrix. Am I going to own or am I going to lend? Am I do it passive or am I going to do it active?
Okay.
So let's talk about passive lending. A money market, a CD, a bond, or a treasury bill, though. Most of those you're loaning money to an institution passively. Right? You don't have any, you just have a little piece of paper you sign, you give them the money, and they're going to pay you what kinds of rates of return.
Because the bank's not going to call me and ask me to help them invest it for them. They're not going to ask my take on it.
They're going to do all the work.
Totally passive.
They just want your money.
Got it.
And like with a CD, they want it for 10 years, right? It has to wait a long time. So it's totally passive and it's lending. That's the lowest rates of return.
Okay.
You can also own stuff passively. If I own stock in Apple, I passively own Apple.
Yeah, they're not calling you to ask about the new feature for the iPhone.
No. And there's no amount of iPhones I could ever buy that will raise that stock, right? Not on a personal level. Unless I'm an executive in that company, I can't influence that investment. So I'm along for the ride. It is a passive investment.
You also, for whatever it's worth, you really don't know what's actually going on in that company's boardroom.
Once a quarter, you get, if you're willing to read the statements, you get something, which is often kind of arcane and hard to understand anyway.
Sure.
A real estate investment trust, a REIT. You can passively own real estate.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, I want you to invest in real estate. You can do that passively as well by owning these funds that own lots of commercial buildings or whatever it is. And also mutual funds is that as well. And traditionally, what has the stock market yielded? What do most people say?
The rule of 10, right? I'm going to double my money every 10 years if things go well in the stock market.
Which is going to be around 7%, but 8 to 10 is what I often hear. Historically, the stock market will yield. So even on the low end, 7%. That's a lot better than lending passively.
Sure.
Right? Now you can own. This is where we want to build wealth. You can build some wealth in owning stocks, especially if you're an insider and you have a lot of money to invest. Where you get to active lending and owning, which is the world we live in, by the way. We have a tremendous advantage here. This is where the huge rates of return are. So active lending is like owner financing. I own my house free and clear. I'm going to offer you financing. Why is that better than like a passive loan? What do you think?
Well, I definitely understand it more, and I get to be involved in picking who I'm going to give it to.
Right.
And
Which is kind of work.
And I got to think I'm going to be able to charge more for my money.
Exactly. So you get to charge above interest rates because you are now off the books lender. And what happens if they default?
I get the asset back.
You're the bank.
I'm the bank. And in this country, the bank seems to always win.
They do tend to win. So there is even upside in the downside because you have a small job in it. And I've seen people easily get in on the low end, 7 to 10%, but on the high end, you can get 12 and in different times, 15% on hard money loans.
Sure.
Right. And private lending's where that is.
Okay.
So some people can go in and you can do convertible notes. There's all kinds of crazy things, but I'm going to actively lend money because I've saved some and you didn't. You needed to take advantage of an opportunity. I might get equity for that, or I might get cash flow.
The simplicity of that, which is I saved some and you didn't.
That's it.
If we had Jamie Dimon here
right
at Chase Bank would be saying the same thing.
Yeah.
We have it and you want to borrow it.
Right. They played the game of spending it and hopefully donating it. They didn't hold any and they didn't invest any in a place that they could pull it back out again. So they need your help. And because of that, you get a nice rate of return.
Got it.
The final way, and this is where the most money is made, most wealth is built, is the active ownership of businesses and the active ownership of real estate. I'll tell you, we own about,
Well,
I think,
wait a second, because hearing that, I kind of get excited as a real estate agent because on day one, I owned my business.
Yes.
And I was also a homeowner on that day. So you're saying just by the mere nature of me joining and owning my house, I was already playing on that side of the game?
you got it. What we know is homeowners, not even investors who own their own homes, their net worth is on average 35 times that of a renter.
You got to hear this again. Say that one more time.
So on average, the net worth of a homeowner, this is not even an investor. This is someone who's just owning a home over someone who's renting. Their net worth is 35 times higher.
This is so vitally important for you to take out and go tell everyone you can. This is the essence of how residential real estate agents change the world. If you're passionate about changing a community, go make a bunch of those people's realtors, because leasing a part of America is great, but owning a piece of America is where you can literally start making a difference in your life.
You got it. And we own about 9 rental properties, my wife and I, over the years, we've acquired them, right? And I look at those and I expect them to get a rate of return of between 18 and 24%. And that's in Austin, Texas, where
big
cash flow, yeah, it is, but it's active ownership of real estate. And you mentioned this earlier. There's a thing, this is like special treat, like sidebar in a book. The rule of 72. You heard of this? So this is a great formula. The rule of 72, if something's growing at an interest rate of 10%, divide 10% into 72, 10 into 72, it's about 7.
Sure.
It'll take 7 years at 10% for your money to double.
There it is.
Right? And so if you go from 7% to 14%, how many years is it going to take?
Well, you short circuit the whole system.
You've cut it in half, right? And now your money's doubling in half the amount of time. And that's how things get big really fast. That's why we care about the rate of return. The higher the rate of return, the faster our money doubles, it grows faster, and we build wealth faster, right? If you're trying to become a millionaire in treasury bonds, you better have invested millions to begin with.
Sure.
Or that's kind of the Methuselah method, right? It's going to take you a few hundred years to get there, right? Because the return is too small. But ownership of business, how much money, do you know the story? How much money did Gary borrow early in the years of Keller Williams to finance this company?
$40,000.
I'd heard 60, so let's give it either one.
Gets better every
on
time.
the high end. What is the rate of return on that money, you think?
Oh, I can't even fathom.
It's infinite.
Yeah.
It's infinite, right? Effectively, he borrowed none. Right. And most of you who own a real estate business, you bootstrapped it. You've got $0 invested other than your time, and your rate of return is infinite. And here's the scary thing. When I ask people to fill out a net worth sheet, which is a lot like a loan, right, for a mortgage, what are my assets? What are my liabilities? Many real estate agents, and this is our opportunity, they never list their own real estate business as an asset.
You just said a bunch of things, and the one I'm going to go back to the most basic of all. You said when I ask people to fill out a net worth statement, break script. Ask yourself right now. Pull out your pen if you're taking notes. How many people in the last 60 days have you asked to fill out a net worth statement? I haven't asked any. Jay, who are you asking to do that, and why?
Everyone who's in my world that is willing to be my mentee on that, that's the question I ask them. If you're willing to do that and be transparent, what I know is this. We have a group of about 40 people in our this world that meet once a month. And the only requirement, they don't have to buy houses or anything, is that they're willing to share their net worth publicly once a month. On average, and we've tracked this for almost 3 years now, their net worth grows by about 4% a month.
Their aggregate net worth.
Yes, and these are people that have school debt, they have all of these things, but because they're tracking the right number, what is the total amount of subtract my liabilities, my debt from my assets, right? Which is what I own. What's that final number? It forces you to get really smart. So it's one of those singular things. It is the one thing for wealth building. Your habit is you track your net worth. So anyway, that is where it grows fast. This is where the income grows fast. And this is where financial returns comes up to capital assets. The more money we invest here, the faster we get to passive income. And there's something out there, it's called the 4% rule.
Okay.
And traditionally, people will tell you, if you've got $1 million, what's 4% of that? But that's like, now you start working backwards. The easier way to do it is I want to have $100,000 in income passively. You can also multiply that times 25. That's how much money you would have to have. And at 4%, theoretically, and there's a lot of research around this, you can pull 4% off of that every single year for over 50 years and not run out of money.
Gosh, and then
So that's the magic number. Like you're thinking you're gonna retire. Maybe I'm gonna live to 125.
maybe you
Do
will.
I have enough, right, to have 4% of that fund my life mission forever? That gives us a target, right? So you can either use the 4% rule if you can do that math. I need a calculator,
Right.
or say, what's the number? I want to have $500,000. Great. Multiply that times 25 and let's go build a plan.
We come at, I want to summarize this, right? Because it's easy to get lost, but the conversation can be as short as 1 minute, which is we're either working for money or our money is working for us. Either way, that's going to produce cash. We then only have 4 things to do with it. We can spend it, donate it, hold it, or investment, which is what everyone's confused about. With investing it, we're either lending or we're owning. It's either passive or active. And if I want to make the most, I'm going to be in the real estate business and I'm going to buy real estate.
You got it.
All right, guys. What are y'all's thoughts around that?
It really makes you ask yourself some questions.
Like,
Do you own your money? Are you working for your money, or is your money working for you? I mean, it really makes you look at things in a different light.
it does. And if just to be honest with you guys, it simplified it
Yeah.
so that we can have a conversation around it. This path of money, I'm going to share it. There's a diagram to kind of share it with you. This comes from the Millionaire Real Estate Investor. Gary and Jay interviewed 100 millionaires that got their wealth from investing in real estate. And so we have the power at any point to become a wealth builder. We have the power at any point to have wealth building conversations with others. And I think that is really powerful and empowering for myself. And I hope that you feel that the same way. Jay gave an example of what he and his wife do. They just have wealth building conversations. They have an investment group where they meet with other investors or people interested in becoming investors. And what do those people do if they decide not to themselves be that salesperson? Who do you think that they call on to help provide them with the knowledge and expertise in real estate? The person that's the hero in the environment. I want you all to look at your life, knowing your numbers, knowing what you can do with it, knowing what that perfect life is, knowing what that life by design is, and going after it and being very laser focused on that, because that's how you're going to be fulfilled, be empowered, and then you're going to have more impact on your community, your household, et cetera, et cetera. Anybody else have like a takeaway? Because I was jotting down all kinds of notes and I've watched it a couple times now.
So for me, since I help so many investors, typically the lowest rate of return that they want is 10%. But he said he wanted 18 to 24% on each one of his rentals, which is incredible. And like he said, that would mean you were paying that sucker off fast, and then it was just income after that.
Yep.
I thought that was pretty phenomenal.
And they're in Austin, Texas. And so, you know, the average sales price there is way above ours. He and his wife buy income property every 2 years strategically. And the reason is just because, exactly like Sarah said, they make sure that there is that rate of return high enough and that the investment is paying itself as it should. Another one that I took away that if I were you guys, I would definitely be having conversations around this strategically is, on average, homeowners' net worth is 35 times that of a renter. The net worth of a homeowner on average is 35 times that of a renter. Is that not something to start a conversation with somebody about? Right? So if you're looking at empowering somebody to be on the path of home ownership, that's definitely a point of conversation, right? Are these conversations that you're used to having? Anybody? Or is it just me? Right? So let's continue this conversation. And I want to weekly in December, we've really got a month that's 2 weeks. But I want to continue this conversation as we're moving into 2021 and as we're looking at our business plans for quarter one. We are pretty certain what quarter one of 2021 is going to look like, right? We're pretty certain. We really have no idea what's going to happen Q2 through 4 of next year. We don't know exactly what the market's going to look like. We do know we're going to be engaged and saturated in the market. We do know that we're going to be extremely knowledgeable and the experts on that. But I want to make sure that you guys are looking at building a bigger life with wealth building, having that life by design, using those tools, spend some time to work on that to move you forward. And that's going to help you create that plan of action for 2021. Here's this example, and I'm going to share it with you guys in the Facebook group, and I'll email it out for everybody, just the path of money. Quick reminder, the deadline for CEs was extended to December 31st. For those of you that need a reminder, this is December 1st. If you have not completed your CEs, please make sure that you do so as soon as humanly possible. This needs to be done. It needs to be submitted. Everything good to go by December 31st. Do not wait. Do it today. Complete it today. And then MARDUs, of course, are upcoming in January. Go ahead and put those on your radar. Put them on your books. Be prepared for them. Do not let these dates sneak up on you. We are professional business people, and we know when we have our dues coming up and when we have deadlines for our continuing ed, right? All right, I'm going to read one thing before we wrap up today, and I will see you all to have a great day. Sometimes we get so used to the way things are that we forget to stop and imagine the potential of what things could be. We forget to ask the questions that cause us to consider what we truly want, where we want to go, and who we're capable of becoming. You see, in 5 years, we're going to arrive somewhere. The question is where. In 5 years, we're going to become someone. The question is who. So I'm curious, if anything was possible, anything, what would you try to achieve if you knew you could not fail? Rather than settling into what's comfortable, let's stretch for what's possible. To stretch to see what you're capable of. Because the truth is, no one achieves greatness on autopilot. So many people live their life by default rather than by design. And when you go through life by default, you're committing to something ordinary, and you're better than that. You're not ordinary. You're so very much more than ordinary. Living by default and choosing good enough when a life of impact, a life of legacy, a life of abundance that could be available to you is not. You are capable of more. You are unique and can do things you've been dreaming of when you accept that everything you want in life is on the other side of your comfort zone. So get uncomfortable, grow, stretch, and grab your potential today so you can live tomorrow you know you're truly capable of. Thank you for joining me today. Happy December. I look forward to having a wonderful month with you all, and I appreciate each one of you. Have a great day, guys. Oh, sorry.
What you just read to us, can you also email that out too?
I will.
Thank
Yes,
you.
I will. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks, Katie.